Hi, I'm Eric Kimball. In this video, I'm going to share with you a simple logical system that I use when I'm mixing small batches of Easy Sand 45 or Durabond 90, these setting type joint compounds, sometimes referred to as hot mud. I usually am only in a situation where I'm doing 1 or 2 rooms, not a whole house, and mixing small batches makes sense. I'm not going to show you just how to mix small batches. I'm going to show you how to keep everything clean and so that you can just keep mixing the small batches as you need them. It's the cleanup often that is a real hassle with these things, and it doesn't need to be. So what I have here is a sawhorse, classic carpenter sawhorse. I have a video that tells how to make these. On top, I've just got a piece of plywood here, held on with a couple drywall screws. So I have a platform. I'm not on the floor mixing, I'm up here mixing. What you need is some water, good jug of water like this, a gallon. You've got to have a mixing pail. And this is just a cheap mixing pail from the paint department at Lowe's. And this is going to last me for a very long time. Mix after mix after mix after mix after mix using this system. And then you need an empty pail right here. We need a Scotch-Brite pad, just a little piece of Scotch-Brite right there. And you need a rag or 2. You have these things. You have also a margin trowel. This is a must-have. Margin trowels, as you'll see, make mixing real easy. And what I typically use is my 6-inch knife and then the Hyde step knife here, the 09100. I have a YouTube video about this knife. I don't use a pan. I know you can mix in a pan. You can accommodate what I'm going to show you here with a pan, the mud pan, if that's what you mix in. When you're mixing these setting type joint compounds, I've got some 45 here. Notice that I've cut the bag down. You know, you start with a full bag. Let's do that. Let's start with a full bag. And I always cut it down as the contents of the bag go down. And that just makes it easier. And when I started doing this sort of thing, using this material, I had a bucket like this, got a 1/2-inch drill, a mixing paddle, and I would just dump the contents of the bag into the pail, mix it up, and then it would harden before I used it all. That doesn't happen with the system that I'm about to show you. There's no waste, or very little waste. You always want to add water to your pail, your mixing container first, and then I use the margin trowel to get out the material. All right, see how nice you can do that? I've done this a lot, so I know the amount of water that goes in. And so the beauty of the margin trowel is that it allows you to scrape the sides and mix. It's far easier than using a stick. And this is a little too wet. I need more. So I just scrape that off and I'll go for more. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, so you can mix this kind of dry, or you can mix it kind of wet, depending on what you're using it for, the kind of joints that you are putting it in. Now here I've got, this is looking pretty good. I don't know how to describe that to you, but it's a good mix right there. I've got it. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to let this set. I'm going to scrape the sides, and I'm going to let it set, okay? Not for long, but I'm going to let it set a little. I don't need to get a drill in here and mix it all up. The margin trowel will do it. And letting it set, slake maybe would be the word. You got to let it set. It makes all the difference in the world. You give it a couple minutes. After it has set for a couple minutes, you come back and you beat it a little bit, okay? And this is not looking too bad. Then you can load it onto your hawk or your pan or your wide knife like that. And now we're ready to go. Hey, I might as well do this. So here you can see I've got a little gap here. This is not a video about how to put joint compound on a wall. It's the system. That's what I'm primarily showing you. But I got a gap here, and I like a gap. I don't mind a gap. Let's put it that way, because I can kind of slam that in there, and it'll key over on the backside. This mud will go in there, and it'll ooze through and over. So it keys in there, just like the plaster and lath. And so I'm not taping this joint, I'm pre-filling it, okay? Just like that. And I don't normally stand like this and do it, but I'm trying to, do this so you can see what I'm doing, all right? So anyway, this is what I do, and I'll be back in a second. I'm gonna use this mud up. Okay, so I've almost used it all up. I've got a little bit more in here, and I'm going to use the margin trowel to really scrape out the last bits of it. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes when I get to this point, the joint compound is really getting thick. So if I have some really big gaps that need filling, I go for those. But I've got most of that out of there, all right? And I'm gonna use this up, and I'm gonna just add a little bit of water to the bottom of the container there, all right? And I'm gonna go use this up. Okay, I'm back. Got just a little bit here. I can use this on screw holes. And first coating, I'll find screws that need to be set a little further. Well, there's 2 in a row. Yeah, that's the way it goes. Okay, well, all right. I hate to waste any of this, so I'll keep going here. Yeah, waste not, want not, right? Put a little right there. Okay, so I'm satisfied that I haven't wasted much of this. I got a little bit right here, and I'll just put it in my bucket, in my waste bucket there. So now I'm going to show you how I clean everything up, ready to mix again. And you'll see videos on YouTube that show how to mix hot mud, but they don't show you how to clean up. I got a system right here. So it starts with this Scotch-Brite pad, and I'll get a little water on it, and I go for my 6-inch knife first. Okay, and then I wipe it off on a rag. It's clean. I go for this, I believe this is a 10-inch step knife. See how quick this is? Not wasting a lot of time trying to get this clean. And that's clean. That's clean enough. You know, I could get it cleaner, but the blade is clean, and for me, this back needs to be clean. All right, then we go for the margin trowel, same deal. Scotch-Brite does it really quick. Okay, take the rag and we'll wipe it off. We're ready to go. Now, got a little bit of water in the bottom here. Not a lot, don't need a lot. And I just start scrubbing. The Scotch-Brite will get it clean fast. And if you let the Easy Sand, the setting type joint compound harden in here, this will still get it clean, but you're gonna have to work at it. So part of the system is to be diligent to do this right after you've used it, okay? So there we go. Wring that out, set it aside, dump. Let's see how much is in there. Not much. That's it. That is clean. It's clean enough. I could take a rag and I could clean it out more. You know, there's like a little haze in there probably if it were to dry, but it's good enough. It's good enough. And here we are, ready to mix again. So that's the system right there. It's kind of self-contained. I'm not mixing and then going outdoors with a hose to clean everything, or to the kitchen sink, or in the basement where there's a sink. It's self-contained. I'm cleaning right after I've used it, and I'm ready to mix again and keep going. See you in the next one, folks.